Yo, what's good, Box Zap fam? Ravi here, and today we're diving into the wild, chaotic, headline-making box office story of Wake Up Dead Men, a Knives Out mystery. This one just hit theaters, and not in the way Hollywood usually plays the game. Buckle up, America, because this is pure box office drama. Right, zappers, let's set the record straight right out of the gate. This is not a normal wide-release story. This is a full-blown Netflix-era experiment, and the results are honestly fascinating. Wake Up Dead Men rolled out midweek with a limited theatrical run, about 600 theaters total, mostly independent cinemas and a few Canadian chains. The big US players like AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, they opted out. And that single decision shapes everything about this performance. Now let's talk numbers. From verified trade chatter and Reddit box office tracking, the movie opened on Wednesday with roughly $600,000. Over 5 days, Wednesday through Sunday, it pulled in about 4 million domestic. The traditional 3-day weekend slice of that lands around 2 million. And remember, this is from just 600 theaters, not 3,000. Context matters. Here's where it gets spicy. The per theater average clocks in at roughly $6,500 or more. That's strong, really strong. Especially for a mystery film with no wide marketing blitz, no premium formats, and zero support from the major chains. People were reporting sold-out shows, packed houses, even added showtimes. Demand, clearly there. Supply, absolutely capped. So where does that leave us domestically? About 4 million so far. On paper, that looks small. In limited release terms, though, this is actually healthy. It's doing exactly what it's allowed to do, and no more than that. Worldwide totals are murky because Netflix doesn't report theatrical grosses cleanly. The film is playing selectively across North America, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe, and the global theatrical take is likely in the single-digit millions. Netflix's real scoreboard isn't box office cash. It's streaming retention. Budget-wise, industry chatter puts production somewhere in the 40 to 50 million range. Netflix's deal for the sequels was massive, hundreds of millions, and Rian Johnson's payout alone is reported to be enormous. From Netflix's perspective, theatrical revenue is basically a marketing line item. The real win happens when this thing drops on the platform and locks in subscribers. So is it a hit or a flop? Depends on which scoreboard you're using. As a theatrical release, it's a limited success with its ceiling intentionally lowered. As a Netflix product, it's doing exactly what it was meant to do: build hype, prestige, and momentum before streaming. When you compare it to similar titles like Glass Onion or even the original Knives Out, the pattern is clear. Per theater, Wake Up Dead Men is right there, sometimes even stronger, but it's operating with far fewer screens and far less marketing. The audience wants it, they just weren't given access. Competition-wise, this film was never meant to go head-to-head with wide releases. Even so, it cracked specialty charts and outperformed expectations for a 600-theater cap. That's impressive, no matter how you slice it. Audience response, very positive. Online chatter is glowing, some are calling it the best of the trilogy. People reported applause at the end of screenings. The irony? A huge chunk of the potential audience didn't even know it was playing. That's the real damage, and that leads us to the controversy. This movie lit up social media, not just because of the film itself, but because of what it represents. Netflix versus theaters, control versus cash. Indie cinema celebrating packed rooms while fans complained they couldn't find a showing anywhere near them. Why is it performing like this? 3 reasons. 1. An artificial cap of 600 theaters. 2. Minimal theatrical marketing. 3. Massive audience confusion about whether the movie was even out. People literally said, "I didn't know this released." That's brutal. If Wake Up Dead Men had 3,000 plus theaters, a real 45-day window, and a traditional studio push, we'd be talking about a 30 to 40 million domestic opening. Instead, Netflix chose control over cash. The numbers prove the demand exists. The release strategy killed the upside. And that's the latest box office zap on Wake Up Dead Men, a Knives Out mystery. We're dropping updates every 2 days, so smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and tell me in the comments, did Netflix play this smart, or did they leave millions on the table? Ravi out, keep zapping those flicks.